make it up to South Carolina, better than Manning, and I had a tire bad regular wear, so I put a BF Good wrench on. And so then about 6 months, 8 months later, it starts coming apart on me and just crumbling and stuff. So in that one, the new Goodyear I had, it had a plug about as big as my thumb missing out of the center of the tread in there. And I mean, it was still fine, good tire. But I said, well, I'm just going to replace both of them. And I got two brand new Michelin's like that at the same time. And man, them things are awesome.
We got one person to jump on.
Oh, you going live? Okay.
Yeah, went live. I got four people in here now.
See, I can't go live, man. I'm barely at 700 subscribers. I need at least 300 more.
Hey, I was shocked. I went live the other day, had 25 people. I was shocked.
Okay.
But what's up, y'all? Truck with Mr. Coach. What's up? Mr. Short, what's going on? Out here with Truckers Table. Me and Robbie met. He was one of my original subscribers, honestly. Yeah.
You were the first person I subscribed to when I decided to come back to Landstar. But see, I took about 3 years off and decided I wanted to give it another try and come back. So I jumped on YouTube to see what I could find out about what's going on over at Landstar now. And you were one of the first ones that popped up. You and L Boogie and a couple other guys.
Yeah.
And so I started subscribing to you guys, and I think I left you a couple comments. And you gave me your phone number, and we called and started. I actually started talking to you, man, before I actually even got back to Landstar. I was still working here in Tallahassee, and trying to work it out. And I told him, I said, hey, man, I got this great idea for a YouTube channel. I'll tell you about it later.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I'll pop up on this thing as the Truckers Table, and he's like, is that you?
Yeah. And I remember when you when you got your truck, you asked me about Long Mountain. Then I think you went down and got your own financing for your own truck.
Yeah. Man, it was incredible. It was just a stroke of luck, to be honest with you. Me and my wife went to get our pickup truck here refinanced and to get a lower rate at our bank. It's a credit union bank. And while we were sitting there filling out all the information, I looked over and I see a little sign they had posted about commercial equipment. You know, they finance commercial equipment. So I asked the lady, I said, does that include tractor trailer 18-wheelers? And she goes, yeah. I said, okay, cool, give me an application, I want to fill one out. So I filled one out and I got approved for $50,000 to go out and buy a truck. There was no restrictions on any of it, you know, just this is how much you can spend, go spend it. So, you know, we looked around all over Florida and ended up buying the Volvo y'all see me in now. Bought over in Jacksonville, Rush Truck Centers.
Oh, okay.
And ended up buying the truck in November, but not even taking possession of it until January because they had to do an engine rebuild on it. Come to find out before I could even get out of there with the truck. So I start off with a rebuild engine. You can't go wrong there, can you?
No.
Says the guy $15,000 later.
Hey, I'm 22 in the mind, so I know the feeling. Real quick, y'all please subscribe to Robbie channel. Very interesting. Last time I went on live, you know, he has this series about his trucking career, and of course, it's a couple of questions I want to ask you besides your trucking. I mean, about your series. This man was in a bad accident a few years back. I don't know if it was prior to you coming to Landstar.
Yeah, while I was at Landstar.
Why was that Landstar? And the kind of accident you had, brother, I know a lot of people be scared to jump back in a truck. What was your main drive and, you know, killed that fear and everything?
My wife. No, I have a wonderful wife, and she is super smart. She has a master's degree in forensic psychology and all that kind of stuff. She's really smart. And she got a job as when we first got married, she got a job as a director of a methadone clinic, treating opioid addiction and stuff like that.
Hold on, I hate to stop you. Calvin Leaks. Man, forget about them nose, man. Come on. Let's keep it real now. It's all about the you. All right. But go ahead.
So she's been doing the job for about 3 years, and during that time, she had at least 2 or 3 visits to the emergency room because of her blood pressure and heart and everything else. The job was just that stressful because you're treating people with opioids. You're right, you know, with methadone and everything, and they can die. You're constantly being scrutinized by the DEA and stuff like that. So the stress was so high, and it was killing her, you know. And I was like, I can go back to Landstar and make enough money. You can quit the job and find something you like. Don't worry about what it pays.
Right.
And then, you know, I'll tote the load, and we'll be okay. So I said, if they'll take me. I said, they may not take me. I said, let's do that before we do anything else. So I went back and reapplied to see if they would take me back. And 2 weeks, I was ready to go. I just had to buy a truck. So I went out and bought the truck and everything and got back into the swing of it. It's like I never left.
By you saying that, so was you able to pick up on your old contacts, or you had to start off from scratch?
No, I still had all that stuff because I don't know if I ought to do this or not. All right. I'm going to tell y'all one of my secrets.
I got to prank this because my arm getting heavy.
Yeah, it is. We put it.
Okay.
There got to be somewhere where you can put it. Oh, steak.
Where your cup of coffee at?
I got one too. Here, hold this.
Yeah. Having technical difficulties. Let us get set up real quick. I'm on my way down to Lachahatchee, Florida. There we go. All right, there we go. That's better.
So, all right, so here's what I do. Or I did when I first came over to Landstar the first time. If you're coming to Landstar, make up an email address that incorporates your truck number. That way, when you call an agent about a load, they always ask your email because they got to send you a rate card. So I did that. I have an email address that incorporates my truck number, and I kept that email address all these years, you know. So when I went back to Landstar, by just sheer luck, I guess, they let me keep my old truck number I had when I was there 3 years ago. So I was able to keep using the same email address. So now I can go back through my email from 2013, 14, way back then, and still see a lot of the agents that I dealt with. So a lot of them I just picked right back up with. There's a couple of them around Panama City, you know, and so they got me loads, getting me out of the house here and stuff like that. So I actually kind of just picked up in the swing of it and kept going, kind of like just taking like a 3-year hiatus, picked right back up and kept going.
Now with that, what you're saying, that 2013, 2014 era, what did change from then to now? As far as Landstar, I know the Hey Buddies wasn't there back then.
You'd be surprised.
Oh yeah, they still had the Hey Buddies. Okay.
I don't know. It just seems like the rules and regulations have tightened down a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of that has to do with the CSA and all that stuff, the way it's going crazy. They got to keep their scores to where they can keep booking loads and getting freight. So they have to be hard on us when it comes to our trucks. Yeah, that's why they're so tight about. If you've ever gotten a DOT inspection at Landstar, you know that the level that Landstar holds you to is higher than the level that regular DOT holds you to. Yeah. Something simple would be like your horn on your truck. You have to have not only a city horn, but you have to have the air horn. Both of them have to work. Mm-hmm. But that's not the case with DOT. Yeah. So it's just little things like that they take way more seriously. Mm-hmm. I'm fortunate because about a mile down the road here, and you need to check him out sometime when you're around if you got work you need done on the truck. Mm. He's a Landstar certified DOT inspector, and he's got a shop here about a mile down the road from the Flying J.
We're in Midway, Florida, matter of fact.
Yeah, we're in Midway, Florida. But he started out over in Tallahassee, and it was Tallahassee Truck Service. And when he moved over here, he just kept the same name in Midway. He got a bigger shop and everything. Mm-hmm. But he's Landstar certified. And so every time I have an inspection due, I take it to him, and we go over the truck really good, make sure it's squared away before we do the inspection. And then he does the inspection on it, and I haven't had any issues with it. So.
Let's give a couple of shout outs real quick. Rob P, wide left against the Hurricane. Ride left, and a ride right. Mr. Pugh, what's going on? Snow Lord, love your channel, dude. Love your channel. Matter of fact, I was talking about that the other day. Let's see who else
we got. That's the guy I was telling you about, Snow Lord.
Okay. Oh, so you know him. Okay. I love your channel. Can't hardly see that. What's up, guys? Preacher, leave the canes alone. That's what I'm talking about. Where's the Duck Man?
He's at the house.
Okay.
I gotta go grocery shopping when I leave here, and I don't want to have him in the truck. So,
Mr. Leaks is on once again. Tomahawk, a little hurricane. No. Mr. Code, what's going on, Mr. Leaks? What's going on? Just checking in, guys. Good advice from Snow Lord. Oh yeah, they were. Okay. Real quick, back to your accident real quick, and then I got one other question.
You see this behind me right here? This thing? That's a death trap. It's called a International Pro Star.
Oh man,
That's what you riding around in, brother. Death trap. That's what almost killed me. It was a 2011 model. Same color, same everything. Same, I want to say the mirrors are even the same. I'm not 100% sure, but very close. But the same truck, man. It was a 2011. So when I went in 2018 to buy me a truck, I actually sat in a couple of these trucks and started sweating. And I told Teresa, I said, if I gotta buy it, but I don't want to. She said, well, let's keep looking, see what we can find. And I ended up getting the Volvo instead. But I don't like the trucks. The only thing you got going for you is you got a Cummins in it, right? Not the Max Force. I had the Max Force, and that was just.
And you rolled what it was?
Oh yeah. I was going down the interstate, I-35 south, between I want to say it was between Waco and Austin, a little town called I can't remember the name of it now. It starts with an E. Eatonton or something like that. And it I don't know. I'm riding along, and I always ride with one hand on the gear shift and one hand on the steering wheel. And it was like somebody reached and grabbed it and just yanked the wheel hard down to like that, and it just veered.
Was it a blowout?
No, it wasn't a blowout. It just veered hard left. And I hit some kind of concrete, and then it just started rolling. The trailer came loose and went over on the other side of the interstate and actually hit another truck in the side, kind of T-boned. So it didn't hurt him. It broke his ankle, but I had third-degree burns. I almost died. He just had a broke ankle. But and then when the truck finally stopped, it stopped laying on the driver's side. So you see the big windshield you have there. That was the only way I had to get out of the truck, because the regen system is over on the passenger side, and that's where all the fire was. All the diesel was spilling off onto that hot regen system, and all the fire was right there. So there's no way I could go up through that window to get out. The only way I could get out was through the front windshield, which by some miracle stayed intact and didn't get completely busted out. And I had to actually punch a hole through it with my fist where I could stick my head out and get some air, because the entire cab was full of smoke. I couldn't see, I couldn't breathe, and I almost passed out. By the time I did get out, the fire was all up inside the truck, and I was like literally in the fire.
Bless.
And,
God got a purpose for this man's life, believe me.
And I wish that was the first time I had been told that by a doctor, but unfortunately I've been told that before that by a doctor. So yeah. I don't know what my reason is on this earth, but I hope it's something good and I get to it.
Hey, but honestly, and I've seen this in your comments before, you have a very pleasant spirit about you, and that can comfort people without trying to get in philosophical,
Yeah.
But that's a blessing in itself, just to meet people like you, honestly. He also has this in his video series. I love the one you did with your dad. Your uncle? Okay, I apologize. I apologize. Your uncle, and so I take it truck and run in your family.
Oh yeah, my uncle was a bull hauler back in the day, back in the 70s on into the 80s, and back when they had to have cab overs because of the length laws. And there wasn't no stand up and walk back to the sleeper. It was crawl over the dog box into a little small bed, about this wide. And but he used to boost me up in there and let me play around in the truck when I was like 5, 6 years old. And that was a struggle, man, because I was no little skinny fart. And so he'd get me up in there and I'd play around in it and stuff. And I just always loved trucking, because he'd always come up in there. But he started driving back in, around 68, I think, somewhere in there. Back when he had gas burners before it was diesel. Old single axle and all that stuff. And there was no sleeper. You just laid across the seat there and slept in the cab of the truck kind of thing, And so he goes way back. And I actually did a special episode of on my series, My Trucking Life, with him. And we talked about all that. And actually, when I got grown and got a CDL and was able to start driving, he actually, me and him teamed up together and ran team for about 6 months, almost a year. And but he's a free spirit. He does not like to work for anybody. He likes to be his own boss. So doing that teaming with me, he told me in the video he did that to make sure I was okay. Make sure I knew what I was doing. So,
what advice you got for anybody wanting to come to Landstar?
butt on over here, man. But what I tell everybody is, I said you gotta have some kind of sense.
Business
Most,
knowledge.
a little bit, yeah, but mostly you gotta have some common sense about what you're doing. And the first thing I always tell people is, do not go buy a truck and then come to Landstar. Go to Landstar and say, hey, can y'all hire me, and give them all your information, and constantly stay in contact with them, and give them all the information they need when they need it, and it'll take you about a month the first time you
Yeah.
come over, because this is not just one of those go fill out an application, they look at it and then hire you. They vet you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like you're applying for some kind of Secret Service government job or something.
Yeah.
They go through everything and they check you out, make sure you're legit. And then if you pass all that scrutiny, then go buy a truck and come, and then get ready to come on over here. But don't go buy the truck assuming you're just going to get on at Landstar. So that's what I always tell people.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, well, now is now a good time with everything going on with the coronavirus and all this other stuff. I said, now is the perfect time, because trucks are a dime a dozen. They're so cheap right now. I saw, this ain't all, I don't know if it was you, I was telling somebody about it. A truck like I drive, the Volvo, a brand new one, a 2020, I saw it listed at $142,000. Now that's if you can afford a brand new truck,
Yeah.
and you can afford those high payments. But I mean, you can still get a good truck. That's what I'm trying to get at, because there's so many used trucks on the market now.
I'm glad you say that, because I'm to the point. I told you my truck payment is roughly $15 a month, and I told you I'm 22 grand in my truck, between the this, the that, overhead. And I broke it down with the time I've been here the last time. I'm like, yeah, that's about $2,800 a month. You know, once I broke down what I've been spending, I'm like saying to myself, well, hell, do I want to go out there and jump in a new truck? Because I can afford the payments if you broke it down like that, and get a warranty. But at the same time, I want to keep my overhead low. So do you think it's a good idea to buy a brand new truck or buy a used truck with a warranty? What's your advice with that one?
I hate to give people advice on what kind of truck to buy, because it's different for each person. For me personally, I have vowed on a Bible to never buy a new truck that has computer systems and regen system in it again.
Yeah.
That's my personal preference, just because when I started driving back in '97, there was none of that stuff. Nobody even heard what a regen was, or computers and stuff. It was just a plain old mechanical engine, 10-speed, 13-speed transmission, and that was it. You didn't have all that headache. And when the truck broke down, they could diagnose what was wrong with it and fix it pretty quick. It wasn't no big deal.
Yeah.
Now you have to hook it to a computer, you have to go to a dealer, you have to do all this stuff. And to me, it's such a headache. And people say, well, yeah, but it's under warranty. Yeah, but you got downtime.
Yeah, that downtime.
And when you go to a dealer like that, sometimes, I know the last 2 times I took mine over to the dealer in Dothan, it's 2 weeks at a pop.
Oh, man,
That's a lot of lost revenue. How long was you out when you had your stuff done, that turbo and all that other stuff?
3.5 to 4 weeks.
See what I'm saying? Yeah.
Plus, I was out of all that money.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a lot of lost revenue over here at Landstar, man. So that's my personal preference. I'm not telling you to go out and buy an older model truck. I'm saying that's what I'm going to do when I get rid of the one I have now. And because mine right now is over 1 million miles.
Okay.
And so it's, if I can, I'm trying to get the documentation from the people that did the engine rebuild, because that's another key thing too, is keep all your maintenance
records.
Yeah, so you'll have all that when you do get ready to trade it in or sell it. And so that's what I'm wanting to do. But see, he was talking about his payment's $1,500 a month, and you don't have a lot of strain on you with that much, right?
No.
All right, my payment $720 a month.
Hey, I know you got a good interest rate going through the bank too.
See, that's what having good credit to do for you. You get a really good interest rate, you can get a really good loan setup, and so my payment's $720 a month. I don't have a lot of stress. I go pull one load, that's my payment for the month. I pull another load, that's my insurance, permits, tags, all that stuff Landstar takes out. 2 loads, and I'm done for the month, having to pay on my truck stuff. The rest of it I'm doing is to pay my bills at home, stuff like that, But I want to touch on what you were talking about the maintenance thing, how much you were up to when you count how much maintenance you've done on yours.
Right.
When you count my truck payment and how much maintenance I've done just to this point from January till now, I'm up to about $2,000 a month.
Okay.
I'm more than almost triple what my payment is. So.
And by him saying that, but what we were just talking about, And Mr. Leaks made a good comment too. You got truck drivers and you got steering wheel holders. Now, a truck driver, and you're a true truck driver because you'll do a lot of maintenance work yourself.
Yeah.
I got to get there.
I do what I can.
Yeah, do what you can. But you got to know your numbers out here, you know, from your home bills to your truck costs to the rate per mile that you're willing to accept. So it's a lot of things you need to think about, you know, when trying to come over here to Landstar. And with that being said, because you got the extra stress of trying to book your load. You know, you got to get a load there. You got to try to book the loads. And you'll have people over here try to become your dispatcher.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't care what they give you, you know. Yeah. And I even bumped into one dispatcher, want to charge me 8%. I didn't ask you to be my dispatcher. You gave me a couple of loads back to back, you know. Now you want to send me over paperwork. Why I'm going to give you 8% of my profit? You know?
Well, hey, I can do that. I'll give you 8% if you'll make sure.
Hey, speaking of that, that was just my tax lady. I need to get on the phone. Yeah, how you do that? You with your escrow, I don't know what you put up. Do you use that for your taxes, or you have a whole separate account that you draw interest off of?
Yeah, we set money aside for all that, and my wife, she has an office at the house, big office, and we have a table. Man, that thing is super huge.
The trucker's table.
It should be. One whole side of it is nothing but receipts and stuff from me that I got to get organized, because we still ain't filed our 2019 taxes, because we got the extension till July 15th?
July 15th.
So we got from now until then to get ours done. So our plan was to be home maybe around the 4th or something, and maybe get it all filed right after that. But see, in my truck, I have not used any depreciation off of it. Oh. So because I just bought it in 18. Mm-hmm. So and then I didn't pull my first load back with Landstar until January. So the whole year of 2018 was a W-2. So I didn't have the 1099. So I got the whole year, 2019 will be a 1099. So that's I can use a pretty good bit of the depreciation on the truck and stuff like that from when I bought it. That'll help out a lot with the taxes. And then but maintenance last year was pretty low for me compared to what's been already this year.
Well, I meant your maintenance fund. Like, do you put up 5%, 10%? How do you check it? You don't even do the maintenance?
I can tell y'all what I do, but you ain't gonna believe it. It's kind of crazy. All right, so you know, every time we pull a load at Landstar, we get a certain percentage of the money we can advance for fuel, right?
Right.
I max it out every time.
Oh yeah.
And the reason I do that is because if you get half of it or part of it, whatever it is you get charged the same. So why not max out the amount you're getting if you're going to get charged the same for that amount, right?
Right.
I load it onto my fuel card, and then I just keep loading it, and after a while you got $10,000, $15,000 on your fuel card, right? So
I bet guys
that
18,000 on it, yeah.
So that I use that mostly for my maintenance fund. That helps me pay off a lot of stuff. And then another thing I do is I pay down my credit card. So if I get a bunch of money like that loaded on a fuel card, I may turn around and just pay off a credit card just to get it paid off. So because I don't see the point in hoarding money, cash, and while you're hoarding that cash, you're paying interest on credit cards that you have a balance on. So I turn around and I try to pay off my credit cards and pay the balances down.
Right.
So I had to $6,700 almost over in Dothan, and then another $4,800 for injectors. So, you know, I've put some back on there, but I've already looked at it and got it mapped out. Last week, this week, and then the coming up week are 3 great weeks in a row for me. So I'm looking at around $6,500 gross for all 3 weeks, each week. So, you know, that Landstar, you make a little bit more because you're doing the step debt. But for me, that's about almost $4,500, right at $4,500 each week. Mm-hmm. So after Landstar gets its cut. So I'll be able to pay all that stuff back off, credit cards and stuff, with minimal interest charged to me. And so I keep those as my emergency fund. And then I have money I set aside on my fuel card as well. And then we're lucky at Landstar. If we have any serious problems, we can go to them and say, hey, can you help us out with this?
Well, honestly, I just had to take out a loan on this one. I had the money, but I thought it was a better business decision from my thinking to get the money from Landstar. That way, if anything with that COVID thing and everything was going on, you know, we still got this here. Me and the wife still got this here. So I ended up taking it. Real quick, One more question, and then we're gonna go through the comments real quick because I need to get on the move.
I'm holding you.
Nah. The trucking thing in DC.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it? Santiago, I think his name is. Have you ever subscribed to a channel, watched his videos? I think he was the organizer. Oh, okay.
The only person I heard about that was involved in all that was somebody called Trucking Coach or something like that. Named Jason something Coach or something. I heard he was involved in all of it. I don't know all the details. I just hear a little bit here and now from some of my friends like Snorlord and some of the other guys out there, Pale Rider and all those guys that I keep up with on a daily basis. You know, we talk a lot. And my whole thing is, are they calling for more regulations, like more transparency? Is that what it is?
Yeah, there's more transparency from the broker.
Yeah.
And I think Snowlord, he the one said he broke it down real good. He was like, "Yeah, just come up with a way to change the game."
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know?
Yeah. I mean, we actually Friday night, Snowlord and Pale Rider had a guy on who used to work at Landstar, and his wife was an agent here, and they were just so many hoops they had to jump through and bull crap, so they just broke out and started their own brokerage. Right? So he gave us a lot of information about it, and I just don't. I'm not for more regulations. I mean,
no.
We're more heavily regulated than nurses and doctors and everybody else, man.
Mm-hmm.
Truck drivers are super regulated.
Yeah.
How much time we can spend behind the wheel driving, how much we can work in 1 week. You have doctors and nurses that work over 80 hours a week, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And what they're doing is life and death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's crazy that we're regulated that heavily.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, it's like we're not adults. They think we're kids or something. We can't, do for ourselves.
Yeah.
And they have to do everything for us. And so I'm definitely against all that. But
especially over here at Landstar, because the freedom over here. You know when you're tired. You know when you need to shut it down. You know when your load needs to be there. We can pace our own selves, but due to the regulations, they got us under a microscope. Let's take a couple of questions real quick. Let's see where we at. Let's see. I hate to put my finger in front of the camera. Where you at, Mr. Leaks? Okay, Mr. Leaks is in El Paso. He went to go pick up his 03 Freightliner. His Pete in the shop. Dog it, man. Okay. Native Cherokee. Let's see. A tree fell in front of me last year. I had an International in the cab. Ain't slide back the sun in my eye a little bit. Slide off the frame. I would have been tore apart. Oh, man. God bless you, brother. God bless you. Sound like he had a real bad accident, International. Let's see. Got it. Why am I importance of having a backup? Okay, importance of having a backup truck. Okay, let's see what we got. Anything you want to comment on while I read this?
let me just preface that International thing by saying I don't. Older Internationals, 2005, 2006, and older, those are okay. I actually had one. I had a 2000 model International, and it was super great truck, you know. But these newer things nowadays with all the computers and the regen systems in them, that's where I have my problem. And Mr. Leaks there, he's got that, what you say, a 2003 Pete? Yeah, there you go. I've told this story before. I had an opportunity when I came back to Landstar to buy a Landstar truck from a guy who was already leased on at Landstar. He was getting out of trucking, going to be a C8 Florida Highway Patrol. And he had a 99 Peterbilt, 389, rebuilt engine, had about 200,000 miles on it. You know, still had the headache racks, all that stuff on it. And it was way under my budget. And I didn't buy it because you see how tall I am compared to Nathan. I went to stand up, man, to go in the sleeper, and when I did, I caught my shoulder, and I thought I had broke it, man. I mean, it was, I was like, oh man, this will be miserable. So I didn't even test drive it. I ended up not getting it. And looking back on it now, I wish I had just learned how to do it back in the old days when we had the W9s, where the studio or the sleeper and the cab were separate. And you had that little space there, and you had to go between. You had to squat down and back into the sleep. I wish I'd learned how to do that, and went ahead and bought the daggone truck. So I should have done. Yeah. I wouldn't have had all the regen, computer, all that crap in it. Had a Detroit in it.
Oh man,
I love them old Detroits, man. Yeah, that's my motor.
Yeah, I wish I could find. They so high with, you know, you can get them in the glider kits, but Yeah, you still talking about 60 grand, you know.
Well, I talked to a guy the
Used.
other day. He bought a new Detroit engine, completely redone with a factory warranty, everything on it. It was $30,000.
Oh man, yeah, that was a good deal, good deal, good deal. Hey, I can't hardly read the comments because of the glare, but we gonna get out of here. It was a pleasure.
I don't know where the sun's coming from.
Yeah,
right here,
okay,
but-
can't hardly get. Hey, luckily the sun's out because yesterday I just came through. I don't know what through Louisiana. I came through that storm. I did a little video on my Facebook page, man. It was horrible going across them bridges. Yeah. But once again, it's your boy Gangsta G-Way with Mr. Trucker Table. Maybe next time we can get Duck Man in here. Hey, y'all stay safe, be easy.
Catch y'all next time, and don't forget, come on over and give me a chance, man. You might like my channel. It's kind of funny, a little bit of good information in there mixed in with it. So come on over and check me out.
He's downplaying. He gives a lot of great information. And you can almost see how he travels, you know, his routes he takes, as well as, hell, you're home again this weekend. Every time I turn around, you at the house, man.
This is my first time home in almost 3 weeks.
Oh.
Yeah, I've been out for a while this time. I had so much laundry stacked up on top of my top bunk up there. It took two laundry baskets to get it all out.
Well, all right, y'all, we out. Once again, stay safe. Gangsta G-Way. Peace with Truckers Table. All right, there you go. All right, there we go. Are you sure you want to stop streaming?